Hello, church family, and thank you for joining me today as I share another devotional thought with you. Throughout the months of June and July, our elementary kids have been learning about faith, and we've defined faith for them as believing in what you can't see because of what you can see. And a couple of weeks ago, I shared with them a little devotional thought that I thought I would expand upon and share with you guys today. So the thought that we were talking about was how knowing Jesus can help us face our fears. And so this is what I shared with them. Every Father's Day, my family and I do a Father's Day hike together. My kids look forward to it. We've been doing it ever since my oldest, who is now 10, ever since the year that she was born. We have done this little hike together, kind of to celebrate Father's Day and kick off the summer together. And it's just a fun time that we spend together as a family. And the little hike that we do is on the mountain. It's just off the mountain road heading up to Stowe. It's at Brewster River. And the hike in and of itself is not all that challenging. It's really more of a little kind of trail walk. But to get on to the path for the hike, there is a pretty steep incline to get you down to the actual trail. And it seems like every single year that a little connection to the trail gets more and more treacherous with the snow, and especially with the flooding that we had this fall. It just gets more and more precarious to get down onto the trail. So my husband takes the lead, and he heads down the little incline first, kind of paving the way, looking to see what the best way is to get down onto the trail. And then he turns around, and one by one, he guides and helps our daughters down onto the trail. He tells them where to step. He encourages them. He motivates them. At times, he may have to kind of hike up a little bit and grab a hand to help steady them and bring them down. And one by one, he assists them and helps them to get onto the trail. At times, he even has to turn around and help me get onto the trail. And then we head off, and we're on our hike. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, the beginning of that chapter is all about Moses handing the leadership of Israel off to Joshua. And numerous times, there are words of encouragement that are passed on to this future leader. And in verse 8, it says, "Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord will personally go ahead of you. He will be with you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you." And as I read those words and was thinking about sharing this idea of knowing Jesus helps us face our fears, I thought about the beautiful picture my husband paints for my girls of going ahead, checking out the trail, making sure it's safe, and then guiding and encouraging them to make it to the end. And you know what, friends? That's exactly what our Heavenly Father does. If He calls us to something, if He brings us to a place that He wants us to go, He wants us to trek, He's gone before us. He's paved the way. He's ready to cheer you on, to encourage you, and to guide you as you listen to Him and follow His lead of what He wants you to do. And sometimes we, as the lovely humans we are, we might sit back and say to ourselves, "Nope, I'm good. I'm comfortable here. I'm okay. I'm misunderstanding what God is saying to me. I'm not gonna head that way. I'm not gonna trek that way." And it's interesting how God will make us more and more uncomfortable until we move and we follow His lead. But we need to remember that no matter where God is calling us, he has gone ahead of us. He knows. And, sometimes we try to trek the trail on our own. And we think we're good enough, that we've got it. We don't need God's help. I've had many situations in my life where God has kind of put me in my place and shown me that I need to wholly rely on him to make my plans successful. And those are the times when he draws me closer to him. So what is God calling you to do today? Is there something that he's making you uncomfortable about? Is there a stirring in your heart that God is calling you to? Maybe it's to invite a neighbor or a friend to a Sunday morning watch party to watch our services together. Maybe he's calling you to serve in a capacity that you're not sure you're ready for or have the abilities for. Certainly, as we read through the Old Testament, Moses was appointed to lead Israel, and he was saying to himself, really? I'm not eloquent, I can't talk well, why are you calling me? And yet, God pushed him and showed him that was his plan for him to lead and to free the Israelites. So he knows what we are capable of. He has given us the gifts and the abilities that we have. And when he calls us to something, he's gone ahead and he will be with us throughout the entire journey. So I encourage you today to think about those words from Deuteronomy 31. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord will personally go ahead of you. He will be with you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you. Thanks for joining us today.